Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Martinez, and I currently teach first grade at a Waldorf charter school. And what I'm going to teach you today is how to teach knitting to a first grader. And if you can teach it to a first grader, you can teach it to anybody. So to get started, I'm going to show you what we need. So you'll need knitting needles. These are a little too long for first grade, but they're perfect if you're making a long scarf. And this is about the size you want. And you'll need some kind of yarn that's easy to work with. You don't want yarn that's going to fray or get fuzzy too fast. Cotton works well. In Waldorf schools we use a type of wool yarn. So you'll need knitting needles and yarn, and then this is what we're going to kind of work up to. So I'm going to teach you how to cast on, to do a stockinette stitch, and cast off. To begin any knitting project, you start with casting on. And what I tell my first graders is you want your string to be almost to your elbow when you're starting to cast on. So you pull it through your ring finger, pinky finger, all the way to your elbow. And then the other part of the string goes behind your three middle fingers, across in front of your thumb, and also comes down the inner part of your arm. So that's the first step. Then you take your knitting needle and you're going to point it up like you're pointing up to the tip of your thumb. So it's going to go up and underneath. Then you're going to cross over and also go up and under this palm string. And then the next step is to bring it back through the thumb loop. And then everything just comes off and you pull it tight. This part is the most difficult part. Once you can do that, then the next step is much easier. So that's your first casting on stitch. Then what I tell my first graders is you make your fingers into little pinchers, and you're going to come in between the two strings. It doesn't matter which one goes where, just as long as they go around your pinchers. Then you're going to pull them through as if you're making a little heart shape. And then these long strings get held. This is also such a wonderful activity for teaching finger dexterity, which really helps with writing later on. So that's why we really like to do it in first grade. So now you have this little kind of a heart shape. You're going to come down again as if you're pointing up to the thumb, going underneath, again, the thumb loop, over again to the palm loop, up and underneath, and then back under through the thumb loop, and then everything comes off. I'm going to do that one more time. So you make pinchers, bring the pinchers through, down, up, palm string, through the thumb string, off. Okay, so I'm going to finish up casting on 10 loops, and then we'll pick it back up from there. So this is the part where we're going to start knitting, and you can see I've cast on 10 stitches, and now the work is going to be in my non-dominant hand. The dominant hand is going to be doing all the work. But even if you're left-handed, you're still going to be knitting using your right hand. Knitting doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed, you're still doing it this way. So what we do is we take our knitting needle and we go into the first loop through the back. So we have a little run. It goes in through the front door, round to the back, all around the backyard, peeking through the window, so going back under, carrying that loop, and then off jumps Jack. So that's that first stitch. So we'll do it again. So going in through the back door, going into the back loop, so you can see it's in the back side, using the long string all around the back, peek through the window, which is going back underneath, carrying that loop, and then off jumps Jack. Okay, so as you can see, I've been knitting a while, and I have 3 little rows here. And this is what happens. So it transfers from this needle to this needle, and now this is the last stitch, and then we're going to cast off. So we're going to go in to the back, round, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. Okay, so that's that last stitch. So as you can see now, I'm transferring one needle into the other, switching hands. Okay, so to cast off, you knit 2, so we're going to knit 2 just like we were knitting. Just knit 1 and knit 2. And then we're going to, it's almost as if you're crocheting. You're going to take the bottom, which is this one, bring it over the top, and pull it over and off. And then you, oops, see that happens, and the kids just get so frustrated when they lose their loops off their needles. That's another thing that you got to keep track of. So knit 1, and then pull the bottom loop over the top. And I will continue casting off, and then we'll pick it up, and that will be the conclusion. Okay, here we are, the last stitch of casting off. So we're going to knit that one, pull it through, peek through the window, off jumps Jack, and then the bottom one goes over. And the way you would end up finishing this off is you would cut the yarn and pull it into that loop and tighten it up and make a knot. But I'm going to reuse this yarn, so I'm not going to cut it. And that would be your final project. So, you know, that's how it goes. Teaching to first graders, you have to have lots and lots of patience. And remember, not everyone has finger dexterity, so there's many exercises that you can try before you even begin knitting, which helps them. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed our time today, and I hope you knit at home.